So we do a lot of work, in standing and about releasing. Um, I guess I'm sort of curious about how you talk about bones being upright and bones standing. Is there like a particular kind of sense of like the line that ground force comes up?
Okay.
It, is it a specific thing? And I guess I'm meaning that kind of almost in a mechanics physical way, or is it more in this territory of feeling that you're often talking about?
Oh, okay. So is it a specific physical, actual physical geographic line or
Yeah,
feeling?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things where the answer is yes to all of that.
okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
So
Okay, that's
yeah. So when we do mechanically, we're adjusting people. So there is a mechanical line, physical line we want to get to, mainly because most people are so off physically and because they don't have the the ting or inner sensitivity or inner awareness to know what they have and how to get to what is a better alignment. So as you develop your inner sensitivity, your inner awareness of your body, it becomes more and more feeling guided, like everything else we talk about. So, but certainly for a long time, we have to physically adjust, look in the mirror, or have someone look at you from the side. And so there is a physical line we want. But beyond that, once we have the ting and the awareness and training to be open to sense that line, is purely by feeling. And in fact, you get adjusted by a cleaner and pure rising of the ground force. So the ground path is something that is shown to you. But until that time, we have to physically, mechanically uh, strive for the best physical mechanical alignment. And even as we develop the ting, develop our inner sensitivity to get better at being guided from within, feeling that guidance, feeling that alignment, we still have to rely on the physicality, the physical note points that we have as well, especially in certain parts of our body, because as we develop our awareness, our ting, it's not all globally all at once, and it's not the same every day. So there might be some parts that you can sense, okay, that's that alignment, and other parts where you have to physically do it because it's still dense. The ting isn't alive there yet, and so it's a mixture of both. But over time, more and more and more. And when I say you're guided, I don't mean by it's some uh, angel or you're channeling some sort of um, guidance. It is a feeling. It is a direct. It can sound rather abstract, but it's when I say it's an energy alignment and it's a feeling guides you. It's not a subjective feeling. Oh, this feels good. That's it. No, that's not necessarily it. Feeling good doesn't mean anything. It is a true physical line, energetic line that you're able to, as you get more sensitive, to tune into it, and it can tell you, inform you. So, and again, if there's something that's not clear or want me to expound more on something, just jump right in there, let me know. So, if we continue doing the best we can to physically get all those points to align and make sure we're doing that every time to the best of our ability, all those physical points that we go over all the time. And we're continuing to work on developing our inner awareness or ting. Actually, I want to erase that last statement. We don't have to really work on developing our inner awareness. that will develop. What we need to work on developing is the best we can with the physical alignment and the releasing conditioning exercises. If we're getting in the ballpark towards being better physically aligned, and we're always continually songing, releasing, opening, softening, and opening, the ting can be experienced. What's there to tell you, what's there to inform you. Now you have the softness and the sensitivity to hear it, to feel it. So you don't even have to, and you can't make yourself have more ting. You can't make yourself be more aware. So that inner sensitivity develops, refines, and just develops until it's, oh, I can notice that where I couldn't have noticed that before. Oh, I can sense that where before it wasn't even a possibility. So it's like if we relate it to physical hearing, if we make the room quiet, everything totally quiet, I can hear that little fan in the background, whirring in the background. Now I can hear it. That fan was always going, but because there was so much noise going on, so much density, so much clutter and clatter going on, I wasn't even aware there was a fan in the room. And even if I was told there's a fan in the room, listen for the fan, I can't hear the fan yet. So that's where faith comes in, or fake it till you make it. Okay, I was told there's a fan in the room, so I'll just kind of keep vigilant and keep working on quieting things down in this room, which is my body, quieting things down and clearing out, opening the body, opening the room, clearing the clutter. Lo and behold, there's that fan, and eventually it's a very loud roaring fan. And then I'm totally guided by that. So the work is always the physical stuff, all the overt things we're talking about, but those again are just pushing us towards the right direction. It's all about opening the body, songing the body, opening and releasing, and again, physical alignment as best we can. Then these things are revealed.
Question. You made a comment that it's not about feeling good, which I get, because a lot of the times we think we feel good when we are actually not at all. But I know for me, my learning through Tai Chi has been very much on what feels rather than intellectual. I know some people that approach it intellectually and they want to know, how things work. But for me, I have to feel it. Mm-hmm. And there's a sense of rightness, of feeling right, if not perfect, but at least feeling right. Mm-hmm. The movement feels right versus it feels wrong. Is that the same as not feeling good, or is that something completely different?
It's not necessarily the same, but I'm glad you brought that up, because that sweeping statement can be misleading. Certainly, there's many times where, because we're doing things quote unquote correctly or right, it can feel good, a release of energy, feeling more open, more free. Those things feel good. And those are feeling good because you're doing the right things, going the right direction. So to be more specific with that, it doesn't necessarily mean, or doesn't always mean it feels good. Lots of times it can and will. So an example would be, if I'm opening up the vertebrae of my neck, whether because I'm feeling the ground force moving up to do that for me, or I'm hanging from the string better than I did before, or whatever trigger I'm using to get my neck closer to good alignment than it ever has been, I can feel some strain in there. Actually, even last class that we're talking about things releasing, and there was subsequent tension or awareness of tensions that wasn't aware of before. So things that weren't feeling good and feeling more tension there than I'd noticed before. So that's an example of that's not feeling good, especially if you're simply becoming more aware of tension that that you weren't aware of before, doesn't feel good, but it's correct. It's right. Or as we talked about also last time, some of these opening exercises are downright painful, uncomfortable to the point of even painful. So that's not wrong because they're uncomfortable, painful. It's not wrong. In fact, they should be uncomfortable and painful. So just so feeling good isn't necessarily, it's not the guiding light. So some things will feel very, very good, but it's not about the good feeling. So saying something feels, it's more towards something feeling, like as you said, something feeling right as opposed to something feeling wrong. It's more towards that. However, of course, that's kind of a double-edged sword as well, because a person can feel, well, how good is how aligned and how good is their sense? So is that this feels good, this feels wrong? How accurate is that? If you stay on the Tai Chi path and you're doing all the work, you will not go astray. You'll get finer and finer and finer, truer and truer and truer about what is good and what is wrong, for sure. But so, for example, a beginner, they can't necessarily trust, oh, this feels right and this feels wrong. But if a person is consistently working the Tai Chi work, the conditioning exercises and so on, doing Tai Chi on a regular basis, yes. And getting good instruction and good self-training, then definitely this is right, this is wrong. In fact, more and more, again, all the work has to be done and diligently and consistently, but more and more and ultimately, you are literally taught from the inside out. You are literally, Tai Chi will teach you. Absolutely. This is right. This is mainly how I work with myself. If you're sincerely and diligently and consistently working the principles and the exercises, and the ting is developing, it's absolutely right. You are taught from the inside out. This is correct. This is incorrect. Yes. Yeah, that's a great point to bring up. Any other thoughts or comments? I'm really glad you brought that up. That's an important fine point. And hopefully it opened up some information about, again, what happens long-term on the path. Truly, Tai Chi teaches you from the inside out. Like on physical levels, alignment, energetic levels, breathing, it's all there. All the information is inside the body and is sprung loose by good Tai Chi work.
Well, and I like how you talked about, earlier, you can't hear the fan if there's too much noise going on. Like that's a nice metaphor, like for the kind of state to get in, so that might be possible for the feeling to guide or teach. Not just like mentally quiet, but like to use something like standing meditation to get physically quiet, so that it's possible to even sense what could be different, what could release, or what could shift.
To become aware of what could even possibly be different, possibly shift. Yes, an awareness that won't be there without all this work. It's back to that old cliche, you don't know what you don't know. So by doing this hardcore work, you start to become aware of possibilities that you couldn't have even thought about. So, for example, standing work. Nobody, at least in the beginning, likes standing work. It's boring, it's hard, what's going on with this? Nothing's going on. What is this all about? But standing work, and people no doubt have heard me say this or have heard other people say it or read about it, because you will read it and hear it if you do any study, because it is just the unfortunate truth. Standing meditation standing work is core. It's core. And it's part of the bitter work that we talk about. Like Cheryl and I have talked about this idea that real transformational training, honest, sincere training that leads to transformation is bitter. Like medicine is bitter. It's not all the fun stuff. Those are little bonuses and plus icing on the cake, but it's not the work. The work is bitter. So, for example, so standing is is the first bitter work that we do because nobody likes standing. However, I might be projecting, but it's like I can hear people's minds and I can hear their thoughts. I'm half joking, going, "How long are you the standing now? How much more? We're doing standing every class now." That's totally understandable. So my answer to that is, and it's not my answer, it's thy answer. If you do the standing, this boring, uncomfortable, even painful standing, until it becomes interesting. If you do, and you can replace the standing practice with anything else in Tai Chi, especially stuff that's uncomfortable, like the opening exercises and any individual exercise of Tai Chi, any individual skill building drill, you can apply this. If it's boring, you haven't done it long enough. You do it, if you do it long enough, sincerely and consistently, it becomes very interesting. So much so, it becomes compelling. You have to go, you can't wait till the next time you do it. There's still a part of it that goes, "Oh, this is hard and uncomfortable," but when you click into that little, this is what this is about. That's why they keep talking about doing this. But until you have enough ting, until you have a sensitivity, you won't get that. It's just standing there like a lump or a block of concrete, okay, and just putting up with it. As you open up the body, song the body, develop the inner sensitivity, until that happens, there is nothing to enjoy. There's it's just an arduous, bitter work. It just means you haven't been doing it consistently enough. Because when you're doing it consistently enough, it's like, oh my goodness, this is fascinating. This is interesting. And that never would have happened before if I hadn't spent all this time up until just now to experience what just happened. And it's food. Like, it's so interesting and so nurturing and so opening and revealing and so obviously grandiosely important for organic health and opening. It's compelling. Like, I'm not overstating it. But it takes a long, arduous path to get to that point where it's like, oh, I see. Where it transforms from laborious, hated, bitter work to, oh my goodness, that's interesting. Any comments or thoughts about that?
I noticed that's not in your brochure for the class.
It's the first time, in fact, I've ever said it in 8 years.
The tough love version of the Tai Chi, yeah.
Because when you're not close enough to being there, or if you can't open up the mind far enough to have some faith in that, what I've been saying, it is a total turnoff for sure. You go running for the door. Yeah.
Right. But just even, so this is, because this is a slightly shorter class period, just because we've just been standing, like, I can feel that I've let go, around my rib cage. My belly's actually let go of about 3 degrees of tension. So as we've talked about, it's like the benefits of just standing here is like a whole bunch of things have happened because I committed to do nothing and stand here.
Precisely. And if we would have, or you would have stopped standing 3, 5, 7 minutes earlier, those things wouldn't have happened. And if you put in enough time on a regular, daily, or almost daily basis, you'll get to other experiences and understandings and knowings. Things are revealed to you, knowings that you would not have even known could be possible to get. Again, we don't know what we don't know. And so only by doing the boring, uncomfortable stuff do we get the goods. And then, you know, we have to admit, that's a cliche. Like all language and all cultures are full of cliches like that, right? Where you got to put in that, it's just folk wisdom. Nothing comes easy, and there's all kinds, millions of other little sayings that just reflect this idea of, and you got to put in this arduous, unfun, tiresome, plodding, bitter work. And then there's something that you can actually mine or receive that not only would you never have received without doing it, you would never have ever had an idea that was possible, that was something that can be received. Not a clue. So the standing work, you know, daily or almost daily, and doing it for, if you have a short amount of time, 5 minutes, try to move it to 10, 12, 15 minutes. And do that every day, sometimes twice a day, or almost every day. Do Song Gong, the releasing opening exercises, 5-10 minutes every day. And some Tai Chi. At least 2 or 3 mini sets every day. It will start to transform you. So, and it's not just the Tai Chi set itself, because we kind of touched upon this last couple classes, where if a regular person is very dense and tight, they're not going to really get the benefits of Tai Chi. They can learn the moves, they can learn the choreography, you can tell them where to place their hands and all that, and they can do the movement, but they're not doing Tai Chi. And they won't really ever do Tai Chi and get the full, real goods of Tai Chi until their body is changed. Now, if they do lots and lots of Tai Chi, there will be certain changes, yes, certain changes. But the mind and the body can't let go enough, can't release their patterns of holding, can't and won't, not able and not willing, psychologically and physiologically, not willing and able to let go of all that stuff to really get the Tai Chi. For what we need to do is change the body, cultivate and change the body so it can receive the Tai Chi. We have to do these hard, bitter work exercises to create the Tai Chi creature, to create the Tai Chi body. You can't do Tai Chi with a normal body. Again, if you did lots and lots of Tai Chi, especially with some good instruction, it will change you, get lots of benefits to a certain point. But there's a whole nother world of Tai Chi and Tai Chi benefits when you transform the body into a Tai Chi body. So what is kind of an unwritten truth, it's not another not popular information, and many people don't know it. But what's really gets you to experience Tai Chi is not Tai Chi. It's the conditioning exercises, the standing and the conditioning releasing exercises. That's what opens you up for Tai Chi. And then experiencing Tai Chi in the Tai Chi step. Not not the Tai Chi set. So most people aren't aware of that reality, that actuality. And those that are, again, it's not a popular, it's, you know, it's kind of the bad news, good news. Bad news is that it's work. And the good news is, again, all the all the folklore cliches. By doing that hard work, that's where you get everything. So if you spent more time doing the conditioning exercises and songing exercise than you do Tai Chi, that will move you forward much brisker, much faster, much faster. So more important than doing the Tai Chi is doing the opening and standing work, and then some little bit of Tai Chi, some Tai Chi. Now you can change that a little bit day to day, but overall the formula, the general formula is the opening and releasing exercises and the standing work outweighs the Tai Chi. It's more important than the Tai Chi. So let me put it in a slightly different way, just to kind of wrap this up. If you had 30 minutes doing 20 minutes of standing and conditioning exercises and the last 10 minutes of Tai Chi, be far more potent Tai Chi. Those 10 minutes of Tai Chi will be far more potent than if you did 30 minutes of Tai Chi. I think that really distills it, putting it that way. Truly doing 15, 20 minutes of opening conditioning exercises, songing exercises, standing exercises, and sinking the chi. These baseline principles. And the last 7-10 minutes, Tai Chi, then you're really mining the Tai Chi work and getting what Tai Chi, allowing Tai Chi to arise. And that 7-10 minutes of Tai Chi proper is going to be much more transformative and much more, wow, revelatory and opening than typically even just a full set or that 30 minutes of just Tai Chi.
Oh. Okay, new practice orders. Yeah.
Okay.
It's our home fun. Is that right, Cheryl?
Yeah, that's right. Home play. Home play.
Home play.
Yeah.
Home play.
Yeah. All the works and the homework. And again, cliches, right? If you think of a concert pianist or Olympic or elite professional athlete, what will they say? Secret to their success. It's not in doing what they do. It's all the background work. Like a professional athlete, it's all the strength and conditioning module here. It's the flexibility module there. It's the cardio module there. It's just, and then all that is actually what supports and fortifies that athlete to actually do the sport that they do. Pianist, it's all, of course, the classic cliche is the scales, right? But of course, they're not just doing scale, they're doing all kinds of other building drills and exercises. That's what builds and supports the incredible music that people see and hear. They're not seeing all the bitter work that actually makes that happen and supports it and takes it further.